Right now, AI data centers and the EV transition are demanding 50% more copper by 2040, but mine production is set to peak in just 4 years. So, in my opinion, copper stocks will triple if global demand continues to outpace supply at this record rate. So some are saying that the copper shortage will start in 2027 and progressively deepen by 2050. Demand will explode, but supply will be limited as the operating mines are being depleted and getting permits for new ones is very hard. Copper super cycle is coming. This was posted 2 days ago and is already at 2 million views. Really popular. The world is on track for a copper shortage that would pose a systemic risk to global economic growth driven by the energy transition and the booming artificial intelligence sector's demand for the red metal, according to S&P Global. This article is from the Financial Times. The looming deficit is forecast to reach 10 million tons, equivalent to almost 1/3 of current global demand by 2040 in the absence of a meaningful expansion of supply. So right here, the blue line is demand, the pink line is supply. Now listen to what Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said in revolving around how much copper they're going to be using. So he's going to talk about the Nvidia's NVLink spine, which is a massive high-speed networking backbone designed to connect dozens or hundreds of AI GPUs into a single cohesive supercomputer.
Behind this are the NVLink spines, basically 2 miles of copper cables. Copper is the best conductor we know. And these are all shielded copper cables, structured copper cables, the most the world's ever used in computing systems ever. And our SerDes drive the copper cables from the top of the rack all the way to the bottom of the rack at 400 gigabits per second. It's incredible. And so this has 2 miles of total copper cables, 5,000 copper cables, and this makes the NVLink spine possible.
Though Jensen Huang's emphasis on the NVLink spine is considered bullish for copper because it signals a massive shift from fiber optics back to copper for high-speed, short-distance data transmission in AI supercomputers. By using roughly 2 miles of copper cabling in a single rack, Nvidia is essentially hardwiring the AI revolution to this metal, creating a massive new source of predictable, high-volume demand. This move proves that copper remains the most effective and energy-efficient way to handle the intense speeds required for GPUs to talk to one another. For investors, this creates a long-term potential buy signal because as AI data centers scale globally, they will require millions of tons of copper that current mining supply is already struggling to provide. So by the end of this video, you're going to know about some copper stocks to put on your watch list, why copper is rising, and the potential risks that could send these stocks lower. So the killer stat is this supply-demand imbalance. It takes 18 to 30 years to develop a new copper mine. In the US, it's about 29 years on average, according to S&P Global. That's not a quick fix. You can't just turn on a switch and have more copper. And demand is going through the roof. Number one, EVs. Electric vehicles use 3 to 5 times more copper than traditional cars. We're talking 85 to 183 pounds of copper per EV versus around 40 pounds in a regular car. Number two, AI data centers. This is huge. Wood Mackenzie says AI data center copper demand is going to hit 1.1 million tons a year by 2030. All those servers, all that wiring, all that infrastructure, it needs copper. Number three, grid modernization. Renewable energy, EV charging stations, transmission upgrades, all of it needs copper. And here's why it's getting really interesting. The International Copper Study Group is saying 2026 will have a supply deficit of 150 to 330,000 tons. We had a small surplus in 2025, but that's flipping to a deficit. Price forecast, Goldman Sachs is calling for $5.78 a pound in the first half of 2026. JP Morgan says $5.67 by Q2 of 2026. UBS is saying $5.90 by 2027. These are big names making bullish calls. And you know who else has been bullish on copper for like 5 or 6 years? Stanley Druckenmiller, legendary investor. He initiated an FCX position back in Q4 2023. His thesis, EVs, AI data centers, defense, missiles, structural demand growth. So let's get into the stocks that might be good for your watch list. First, the stable category. These are for the more conservative investor. Think dividends, large market caps, lower volatility. Number one, ticker symbol FCX. This is the world's largest publicly traded copper producer, currently at $58.85 a share, market cap $85 billion, PE around 41x, dividend yield 1%. Now, their copper exposure is about 75 to 80% of revenue, operating margin 24.5%. Why is FCX interesting? Scale. They have Grasberg in Indonesia, one of the largest copper and gold mines in the world, plus operations in the Americas. Stanley Druckenmiller owns shares, and the balance sheet is decent. Debt to equity around 0.5x. Key risk, Indonesia exposure. They had to divest some of their PT Freeport Indonesia stake down to 37% from 49%. There was also a mud rush incident at Grasberg in September of 2025, force majeure situation. But look, this is the gold standard if you want pure copper exposure. Force majeure means unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone from fulfilling a contract. Number 2, ticker symbol SCCO, Southern Copper Corporation. This one is interesting because of the margins. $176 a share, market cap $149 billion, PE 38x, dividend 1.7%. Here's the thing, operating margin 50%. That's insane. That's best in class. Nobody else in the copper space is doing 50% operating margins. Copper exposure around 85%, with some molybdenum and silver as byproducts. Long life assets in Peru and Mexico. Key risk is jurisdiction. Mexico, Peru, there's always some political noise, but they are controlled by Grupo Mexico, so there is a strong parent company backing them. Stock number 3, ticker symbol BHP. Now this is a diversified giant, not a pure copper play, but here's why I'm including it. Price is $64 a share, market cap $243 billion, PE 18.4x, which is the lowest of all of our picks, and dividend yield 3.6%. Copper exposure is about 25 to 30% of revenue, but around 45% of EBITDA because copper is their higher margin business. They own Escondida in Chile, which is the world's largest copper mine, plus Olympic Dam in Australia, where they are investing $840 million. Copper production was up 10% in 2025. They are growing the copper business. Key risk is China iron ore exposure. About 60% of their sales go to China. There is some pricing standoffs going on, but for the dividend investor who wants copper exposure with diversification, BHP is worth looking at. So quick mention on COPX. If you don't want to pick individual stocks, there's an ETF, ticker symbol COPX, Global X Copper Miners ETF, $82 a share at the time of this recording. Expense ratio 0.65%. Dividend around 2.4%. It holds all the names I mentioned, plus Luden Mining, First Quantum, Tech, Glencore, diversified copper exposure. Now here's the higher risk, high reward plays potentially. They can go up 100% if the copper thesis plays out the fastest. They can also drop 50% if things go wrong the fastest. Stock number 1, ticker symbol HBM, Hudbay Minerals, $24 a share at the time of this recording. Well, actually now $26 a share. Market cap $13.5 billion, PE 21x, which is much more reasonable. Operating margin 39.4%. They have a strong 3-year production guidance. They are evaluating Constancia expansion in Peru for 2026. Financial strength is solid. $450 million credit facility, debt to equity, only 0.17x. So within the next 12 to 24 months, this could hit $50 if copper rallies and Constancia delivers. Key risk, Pampacancha was depleted in December of 2025, so that's a hit to their production, plus lower grades going forward from the Constancia pit. Stock number 2, ticker symbol ERO, Arrow Copper. This is the smallest of the bunch, currently $30 a share, market cap $4.3 billion, PE 22x. So what's going to help this double? Tucumã mine achieved commercial production in July of 2025. This new mine is expected to be 40% of their 2026 revenue. 40%. That's pretty big for a company this size. And Fitch just upgraded them to B+ in December of 2025 because of the Tucumã ramp up. They also have the Furnas PEA coming in the first half of 2026, which could be another growth catalyst. So bull case, this hits $60 a share if Tucumã fully ramps and copper rallies. And I would say this could happen before 24 months. But the key risk is single country exposure. They are all in Brazil, and they have the highest debt to equity of the volatile picks at around 0.79x. But the Tucumã ramp is real. It's happening now, and it could be a major catalyst. Now, I always want to talk about the bear case because nothing goes straight up. Number 1, China's slowdown. Property market is weak. If China really tanks, industrial demand drops. Number 2, global recession. If we go into a recession, copper demand falls. Number 3, U.S. copper tariffs. There is a 50% Section 232 tariff that went into effect August 1st of 2025. This actually benefits FCX because they have U.S. production, but it could hurt ticker symbol SCCO, HBM, and ERO exports. The fourth risk is these volatile picks can get crushed. Again, with that HBM Pampacancha depletion, Arrow is all in Brazil. These are real risks. So at the moment, I'm not in any of these copper stocks right now. I just have them on my watch list in case we have a pullback. But if I was going to enter, I really like ticker symbol FCX for the pure copper stable play. Again, that's the largest pure copper producer in the world. For the dividend investor, BHP looks interesting at that 3.6% yield and lowest PE. And for the aggressive trader looking for 2x potential, again, or a 50% loss or 100% loss, always expect the worst. HBM is interesting because of the reasonable valuation. And ticker symbol ERO is interesting because of the Tucumã ramp. So looking at the 3-month chart, this is ticker symbol FCX, currently at $63. Now you can see we're at major resistance, about to break all-time highs. Will this move like silver did, right? Just break right through it. If we look at the daily and I were to buy today, yes, this did have somewhat of a breakout today, but man, this is up big and it's just going in a straight line. So I would hate to buy it here today and chase this. However, this is not some short-term play. This theme could hold up for several years. And you can come back to this video and be like, oh, I remember when FCX was $62 a share. But I would not be surprised to see some consolidation at this zone here for the next few days because we're at major resistance. But the theme is hot. Look at ticker symbol SCCO on the 3-month chart. This thing is flying. Broke right through this resistance from 2024. And you see how this pattern on the daily chart looks exactly the same? These sectors, they'll all move together. Remember when I was telling you guys about drone stocks and those all had a huge like 50%, 25% minimum move. All these stocks will move together. So that's why it's good to look at the more volatile stocks in moments when themes get hot, but not on day 3 or day 4. It's all about day 1 for me. But again, this is for a long-term theme. And same rules apply in terms of me not wanting to chase. Now here's ticker symbol BHP. You see how this chart looks different because they're not a pure copper play. See, right now we're at 2021 resistance on the monthly. I like looking at the 3-month chart for long-term setups. But BHP with their 3% annual dividend yield, I know some investors like that. So here's ticker symbol HBM. This is the more risky stock, but look how much this has moved. Just in this month alone, it's up already 32%. Last month, 17%. Man, this thing's been flying. This is also approaching resistance. So that's why I never want to chase. But it's always good to know about what's going on. Buying opportunities do present themselves. We just want to focus on the winners. Next, ticker symbol ERO. This is the monthly chart. Look at the above average volume. So currently $34 a share, ticker symbol ERO. If this has a pullback, I like this $24, $25 range for a potential entry for me. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.